what is success for you? Because if you don't know how success looks for you, then society will tell you how your success has to look like.
Okay.
So when do we have a space where we can and I wanted really to create a space where we can all together, if there's any mask, just put it down, just be our naked self, no judgment, no need to sell ourselves, no need to show everyone what we are doing, but just come here and say, hey, I had a really crap day today. If you're not curious, then what's the point in living an expat life? If the world had more curiosity and less fear about differences, it would be a more peaceful place. Something that I find very interesting that I've heard in one of my spiritual courses is that you could think that someone who is born in a country, for example, that has war,
Right.
it's so hard. And it is, right?
It is.
And then you could see, let's take an expat life, and you would think, what about an easy life? But it's not the full picture.
Welcome to The Big Why, a podcast about life's biggest questions. As we experience more material abundance, we face deeper spiritual hunger. And the gap between what we have and what we truly need leads us back to the big questions of life. Where do we come from? Why are we here? And where are we going? As of today, no one has found the answer. I believe that each human being is part of the truth. It's like a puzzle that wants to come together, yet there are always some pieces missing. This podcast is striving to put part of this puzzle together. I'm Anne Kristin-Vaudour. I grew up in East Germany and I have lived in China, Italy and Hong Kong. Now I call Singapore my home. Living across cultures has shaped my lens of life and work. In each episode of this podcast, I'm speaking to people from different walks of life, to artists, coaches, modern mystics, academics, scientists, mothers, migrants, and many more. I talk to them about their work, about their values, beliefs, and what gives them meaning. And it's not only about the answers, it's also about the search. Enjoy the episode. So welcome again. This is our very first episode of the Big Why podcast, and I couldn't be more excited to welcome Tani De Gregorio, who basically embodies what the podcast is about, like a search for the big why, for the bigger questions of life. So Tani is an artist, RTT, hypnotherapist, and the founder of Souls Connect, which is a group of solopreneurs where women look for authentic connections. So from all the hats that you are wearing, is there anything of your activities that you feel like especially passionate about, or that gives you the most meaning, or are things like complementing each other?
So first of all, thank you so much, Anne, for having me. I'm really excited about that. I mean, that is great.
Thank you.
So that was the first thing I wanted to say. And then to come back to your question, is there one thing I'm more passionate about? I think, I don't think there is. Because all of them, even though they are very different, or they seem very different, like being an artist, being a hypnotherapist, creating a community, this group that is called Souls Connect, where we bring soulpreneurs together to connect, to grow, to learn from each other. They do seem at first very different, but actually they are all about connection. And I'm passionate about connecting people with themselves, with others, and with spirituality. And I think in that regard, it's very similar and very aligned. Even my art is about spirituality, about this connection to yourself. So I think I'm passionate about all these different areas.
Well, that's excellent. And actually, your group has become, it's not that old. It has been founded how long ago around?
Only a few months, in March.
Yeah, and it has been growing like exponentially. What do you think it feels like there is a specific need that you are addressing with that group that people have. What do you think it is? You have regular meetups. What is the message that comes out usually?
It's so funny because, so as a little bit of a background information, so I used to work in marketing. So my studies have actually been in international marketing. And this group, it's just a perfect example of not doing anything of what I've learned, and it is just growing organically. So it's literally something like an idea that came to me, like my best ideas always come to me in the shower. And it has just come to me, and I started to speak with people about that, and people were like, "Oh my God, yes!" So my idea was, I feel there are loads of amazing practitioners here or soulpreneurs here in Singapore. I sometimes feel lonely. What about you? And everyone was saying, absolutely, like we would love to connect. And I think it came out of something that was my own need, and just sharing it with others that have that same need, and basically supporting each other.
Okay, so maybe you can elaborate a little bit on your own journey, because I think you have come quite far to where you are now. Was there like a certain struggle that you had to overcome, or what brought you to this journey that you are about connection, and you basically, it's not so interesting for you to have like a job title. You say you are about connection. You have you are an artist, an RTT hypnotherapist, and the founder of Souls Connect. So maybe you can tell us a little bit what brought you there.
How long do we have? Okay, let me try to narrow that down. I think, first of all, I feel like living a completely different life right now from the life that I used to live back when I worked in corporate, when I grew up as well. There has been a turning point, and I will come back to that. But for me, I think the key message is that I was always very disconnected from myself, from my body. My body was literally screaming at me, giving me all the signs, all the symptoms like panic attacks, gut issues, so many things. And I was just ignoring all of that. I was just pushing through all the time. Like my aim was basically how to shut down these signs my body was giving me. How can I be stronger than my body?
Right.
And now I understand that, like, we cannot work against our body. We have to work with our body. And you cannot connect with anyone else in your relationships, at work, or in anything that you do without being first connected to yourself.
To yourself, right.
Absolutely.
And was that like a gradual journey, or was there like one, it was gradual?
It was gradual. So to give you just a very brief overview of what happened, I used to work in corporate. When I got pregnant with our first child, my husband got an offer to move to Dubai within the company, and we used to work for the same company. And my idea was, I just give birth, we move to Dubai, and I'll go back to work. Which obviously, like if anyone here has kids, this is not how it works. And I realized, oh, okay, so I have to find a new way, and I quit my job. Then tried to do the same I used to do at work, trying to be the best mom possible, trying to give my everything. And obviously, there is no best mom. Like it looks different for everyone, and you have to first tune into your child's needs and into your own. So then I was faced with that new reality that, oh my God, I actually have to sit with myself and be with that little being that needs me, but I can't understand what he needs.
Okay.
And it was very hard for me. I got pregnant quite quickly afterwards again.
Right.
So then there were two.
Right.
And that was even harder because actually our daughter, so our second child, was born with certain health issues.
Right.
And I really had to understand and trust myself there, understand what was going on, what was the best thing to do, and really trust myself. And that was when everything fell apart for me. At the same time, my mom got sick, got cancer, and unfortunately passed away.
Right.
And that really, I think, this succession of events
Right.
pushed me into really questioning my life choices. My life decisions. Like, why am I trying to work so hard for something that I'm not even finding I have a connection right now with?
Okay, so I get it. Like there were a lot of struggles. There was like a series of events, of struggles, and you said you had to trust yourself at a certain point, because if you're a mom, there's no excuse, right? Like you have to be there for your child, and you have to figure out what's going on. There's nobody else who...
No manual, right?
Do you have the feeling that going through all these challenges, that this helped you to understand what is important for you, what is meaningful to you, and, as you say, how to connect to yourself?
Yes, and you formulate it in a very positive and nice way, and I appreciate you for that. But the reality, how it looked, is that it cracked me open. It was really hard, and I don't know if I can say lucky or really grateful that I have a husband that actually supported me through this journey, because there were moments when I just wanted to hide and run away, and I think at some point I was like, I can't continue like that. Especially after my mom passed away, I really fell into this hole. It was like somebody, I don't know how to say that in English, like somebody's removing your foundation, kind of, and you have to really redefine certain things for yourself.
Right.
And I started listening to podcasts and to run and to be more outside, like trying to move my body, because actually I felt so stuck in my body that I started to integrate more and more movement. And with that, actually, I realized, why did I never go ahead with studying medicine, which is something I wanted to do in the first place? And from that, I got into nutrition, integrative nutrition, health coaching. And so that was the first step, which was still a soft step into that direction. And yeah, that's how it started.
Right. Okay. I mean, there are a lot of young people that read books, listen to podcasts, to find themselves, I guess. But do you think that one has to go through the struggle themselves in order to really know? Or do you believe it's possible to prepare you for life? Or does one have to go through the challenges and the struggle to really find out what is it that gives you meaning?
Good question. I think I want to answer that by saying I never say something is impossible, because who am I to say that this is impossible? Maybe it's possible. Like everybody has a different journey.
Exactly. I mean, it's just about your own opinion, what you feel about it.
Like for me, I can only share from my perspective what happened to me. I wouldn't have, or I would not be where I am today without going through that. Many of the people I meet, they have also have been through struggles. They have a story. I think we all have, right?
Yeah.
Have a story, and that is what makes them who they are today. I think now as well, I'm over 40, it is a bit different than at 20. But then having said that, I meet so many people that are in their early 20s where I'm like, wow, I was never where you are today.
Yep.
at that age. Like it's a different generation as well.
I'm wondering about that as well. There seem to be people that simply have figured things out at an earlier age, right?
And great.
And then amazing. Yeah. And then I'm always like, I wish I could start over, having all that information. But then I found it also important what you said, like everyone has their own story in a way. And like I always think that if someone wants to become successful, for example, then we could just all read a book about Richard Branson or whatever, and then, follow the formula. But we are all different. We all have a different story, right? And there I would like to ask you about your practice as an RTT hypnotherapist. Maybe you can explain a little bit what that is for our audience who might not know. And then if you have seen like a reoccurring pattern about people and their challenges. I mean, I do believe in RTT a lot, but I let you explain what it is.
So many layers to your question. I think the first thing my brain picked up on immediately is success. Because if you say, okay, you could probably like read a book and that is about success, how to be successful, and then follow that. Well, you could, but then you would follow someone else's definition of success.
Exactly.
So my question would be, and that I'm asking really everyone, is like, what is success? And I'm not asking like, what is success that is portrayed in the media or success that is in movies or whatever. What is success for you? And my success, what I think is successful today, looks very different from what I thought was successful like 20 years ago. So even for myself, it evolves.
Okay.
And I had to actually sit with that and be okay with certain things that I know for me that means success, but for the majority of people, probably it doesn't.
So success is very individual.
It's very individual, in my opinion. And I think it's the first step, because if you don't know how success looks for you, then society will tell you how your success has to look like.
Okay. Yeah.
And so we come back to this connection to yourself. Do you know actually how success feels to you? Like for me, success is being able to have a healthy body and to take care of my body every morning and have that flexibility to go out for a run, to start my day with yoga, to be at 4 p.m. home when my kids come home from school. That is success for me. Like you ask someone else what success is, they would say success is that my company is making that and that money per year. And both are fine.
Yeah. So we get to find out first who we really are and what is important to us, what gives us meaning.
Absolutely.
And then we can basically formulate our own definition of success that is extremely individual.
That, and then also I think we have to take into account, like I have a very unique situation that I'm very grateful for, that actually I'm working, but I'm also like with someone who has a secure job. So it gives me a different situation than someone who has to actually earn a certain amount of money every month. So, like the situation is also different.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that also defines our our definition of success. So there are different things that come into play.
Yeah, I totally agree. So let's come back to the RTT.
Yes.
And I mean, what brought you to like starting this journey of RTT hypnotherapy?
Okay. So I'm a big believer that every practitioner, it's important for every practitioner, because I don't want to say should, but I think it's an important part of the life of every practitioner to also work on themselves. And so when I became a health coach, an integrative nutrition health coach, I worked with another coach who actually was also a hypnotherapist.
Right.
And at some point she said to me, why don't you try hypnotherapy?
Okay.
And at that point in time, I wasn't really sure about what is hypnotherapy. I was a bit like, But I was open. I trusted her already. We had already worked together for quite some time. And so we started with hypnotherapy. And I liked it. And it gave me some results. But then she was like, I think it would be really interesting for you to go deeper, to do regression, and to go to the onset of where these beliefs that you have are coming from. And so she put me in touch with her own teacher, who then became my teacher. And I contacted him with a request to do a regression into my childhood, regression hypnotherapy. And okay, this is a very open podcast, right? So I'm going there. And we immediately went into a past life regression.
Okay.
And that was not what was planned, for me at least, not what I was expecting.
So it just came.
It just came. I immediately found myself in a man's body.
Oh.
And I was very confused. And he was very reassuring, and he told me just go with it, just go along with it. And it was a very deep session, almost 3 hours, and I think it changed my life forever.
Wow.
It gave me so much peace. Also, when it comes to life and death, and I was raised Christian,
right?
So there was not really a discussion about what's happening after death. So for me, that redefined a lot of things. Sorry, I'm not exactly answering your question, but we are getting there.
It's super interesting. I mean, we will come back to
the RTT. Yeah, sorry,
but this is just so interesting because I think not many of us have experimented with that, like past life regression, and I haven't done it, but I've just heard from so many people that it is really, really a life-changing experience.
If you do it with the right person.
Yeah, if you do it with the right person, exactly. So that is actually one of the points, right?
Yeah.
And I just heard from so many people that after they have done it successfully, that first of all, they are no longer afraid of death, and that they are much more tranquil about life and feel much more reassured.
I understood so many things in this past life regression. I mean, let's maybe come back, because I'm really drifting away from your original question. Maybe we can come back to that a little bit.
Right.
But that actually got me into hypnotherapy, because the first thing I said after the session, it took me actually months to even speak with someone about this.
Right.
And just like in brackets, actually, what was really interesting is that I was crying, almost screaming during the session, and my Fitbit was showing that I was sleeping.
Right.
So my nervous system was so calm.
That's so interesting.
But I was actually processing so much, and he's an amazing person, and he did a lot of healing, which was beautiful. And I came out of that saying, I want to learn that. I need to know how you do that. Like, what did you do?
Right.
And
so it seems to be like a very powerful.
For me, it was
that everyone who did that. If successful, I hear the same. Like, it's a very, very powerful experience.
It certainly can be, and so he said. So I didn't hear anything from him for months, and then he just sent me an email saying, because actually it was at the end of COVID, and he didn't plan to come to Singapore to give any in-person sessions at that point. But then, like almost a year later, he sent me an email saying, "Hey, Tani. I'm doing an online course. Would you be interested?" And I had already signed up for my yoga teacher training at that point. And I was like, oh, that's not the best time. But I just felt like, okay, I want to do this. So so I started the hypnotherapy training with him. And I loved it.
Yeah, that is another example, like how you were able to discern like what gives you more meaning, right?
I did both, actually.
You did both?
I did both. And both were beautifully complementing each other, I would say.
Okay.
And from that, it took me another year to actually work with another coach who was also an RTT therapist and who did an RTT session with me. So RTT, now coming back to really RTT, you're getting there. It's actually an abbreviation for rapid transformational therapy. And it's a combination, it's basically a very specific method that is taught by Marissa Peer, if anyone knows Marissa.
Very famous.
And so it's a combination of different modalities: NLP, CBT, psychotherapy, hypnotherapy. But it's basically, the idea is to go back to several scenes that are the root cause of certain beliefs that you have. And then we work with these beliefs. We work with these scenes that have come up with, for you, because whatever scene comes up, sometimes they seem very unrelated to what we're actually working on. But there's always a reason your mind brings that up in that very moment. So then we work with these scenes, and we can do different things like part work or inner child healing, different things. And then we would end with a transformational recording, with a healing and a transformational recording that you listen to over a period of time of 21 days, just to integrate these new beliefs.
Right. And I mean, what impresses me most about that method is that it's relatively fast, right?
Yes.
Like some people say they are in therapy, like CBT, and they take years to have certain realizations, right? Whereas RTT, I think, I mean, how many sessions do you normally need?
It really depends. It really depends on the topic, I would say.
Average?
Average, I would say 1 to 3.
1 to 3, well, that's extremely fast.
That is extremely fast. Having said that, I think to different challenges we face, there are different layers.
Okay.
Right? So you might just come out of one session realizing something that something else you need to work on.
Right.
And, it's so interesting because we always think we have a challenge and healing is like overcoming this challenge, going from A to B. But actually, you realize that from A to B, then you go to C and D. And, it's only the start.
So there's like a sequence of...
And that is life, isn't it? If there's one purpose to life, for me, it's growth. So if we overcome one challenge and then that's it, then what's the meaning of life? I think life is lifelong growth, if you're open to that. And that doesn't end until the day we die. Yeah,
exactly. So coming back to those patterns, do you feel like there is some challenges that are similar, that are always coming up, or is it very individual?
I believe that the clients we attract are always a mirror to ourselves.
That's so interesting.
So you asked me that question, I will answer it in a different way that another practitioner will answer that question, I think. For me, I'm attracting a lot of women that want to speak up, connect with themselves, find their voice. I think that is very important, but this is also my own journey at this point in time.
Right.
So I think it's interesting because when I created my website, coming from a health coaching background, I actually put the focus on nutrition, intuitive eating, even movement, sleep. And what I'm attracting over and over again is not that. Is women who want to speak up, connect with themselves, connect with their authentic, true self, grow in their business. And I was wondering, that's so interesting.
It is, yeah. There is this quote by, is it a Dreyer, or he who says that we actually don't attract what we strive for, but who we are.
Who we are, absolutely.
Would you agree to that?
Absolutely. And I think even, it's such a hype to talk about manifesting. And I think manifesting, yes, it's great to work with your mind. But as long as you don't embody that and feel it in your body, you don't attract that energy.
So there's, again, not just a formula. It's not like someone tells you, okay, sit down and think of it. You actually have to embody
I think so.
what you want to attract.
I think that is now what I'm moving more and more towards is embodiment, somatic work as well.
Right.
And how does it feel in your body?
Okay.
I'm already integrating that. So I've started integrating more and more spirituality into my work as well.
Right.
So I'm very clear to anyone that actually I work with people that are open to spiritual conversations, because otherwise I think I can help you find someone that is more suited. There are amazing RTT therapists out there, amazing practitioners. But if we work together, I would love it to be open to these kind of conversations.
So it's evolving as well, right? You said you started with nutrition and other practices, and now you are more going into the subconscious mind, as you say. Like, people have to feel things. It's not so much about the rational mind and how people process thoughts and ideas. It goes deeper and deeper and deeper, right? So at the moment, what is it that excites you most? What you have ahead
today?
Yeah, like is there like anything that you go into like really, really deep, and do you have any special vision for what's to come for you right now?
Souls Connect is definitely my baby at the moment, and I'm actually tearing up when I'm talking about Souls Connect.
Yeah, I mean, I'm part of the community, and it's just amazing. It's really, I mean, what I especially admire about the community is that there are a lot of communities everywhere, and especially in Singapore, for solopreneurs,
and great communities.
But what I feel is very special about Souls Connect is that Tani puts like loads of work into it, and doesn't actually take any money.
No, it's like, it doesn't feel like work.
It's like, it doesn't feel like work,
no,
but actually it is. I mean, I know that she puts like loads of work into it, and it's just about, I mean, what is the reward that you are getting from the group?
You?
Wow. I start tearing up. Okay.
No, I think it's really that. It's these moments, like, okay, so for myself, networking events, for example, are always very challenging. Like I would be that person. I'm an introvert, but also an extrovert. It depends on the time.
Extrovert.
Extrovert. But I would be typically the person who signs up for an event and then would like cancel last minute and be like, oh, like my pajamas would be just nice and just fine for this evening.
So you are introvert. You actually don't like to expose yourself because I don't have that feeling at all. When you are...
Sometimes I do love to be with people, but I can get easily, because I very easily feel into the energy. When there's strong energy going on in a room, I can be easily overwhelmed. And I'm always a bit like, do I want that today? Who will be there? And when there's a lot of energy that is, I want to put myself out there. I want to come with an elevator pitch. I want to really show everyone what I'm doing. I very easily close down.
Right.
So I wanted to create a group where, because, okay, going a little bit backwards, as practitioners especially, we can't like come to a session and be like, hey, today I'm really not feeling well. Can we talk about me today? You can't do that as a practitioner. And like, if we are but we also have these moments.
Yeah, of course.
So when do we have a space where we can just...
Yeah.
And I wanted really to create a space where we can all together, if there's any mask, just put it down. Just be our naked self, authentic self, no judgment. No need to sell ourselves. No need to show everyone what we are doing, but just come here and say, hey, I had a really crap day today. I really want to come here, learn from you. How do you do that? Like in these moments, what do you do?
Right.
I wanted to create a space that is so open and kind, where people feel that they can do that.
Right. And I think that is exactly what I feel. Like that comes really, really through.
I'm glad.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm sure a lot of people would agree to that. I used to be in groups, and it was everybody came across a bit salesy, which is normal. This is not a judgment, because I myself, I said, okay,
You need that.
it's salesy. And I was also working on my elevator pitch, how to introduce myself. And that's a very important learning as well, because it's important to communicate well. But in your events and gathering, and you have like regular events, like regular gatherings, and it's also a lot about not only connection, but about learning, like people exchange their skills and their knowledge. So it just feels super authentic. And so I feel this is probably something that this connection again that gives you a lot of meaning, right?
Absolutely. And also, I think it comes really from how can I say that? An abundance mindset. Rather than from, like, for example, there is no rule of having only one hypnotherapist in there.
Yeah.
I don't want to exclude hypnotherapists just because I'm a hypnotherapist.
Right.
Because in any case, I will attract different people at that point in my life than somebody else will. Like, different coaches might be doing the same, but the energy they bring to the room, the story, the experience, it's different. And I think, in my opinion, 1 and 1 is more than 2. I think when we work together, like, ideas come that we wouldn't have had on our own. Yeah. Like, if we collaborate and support each other, there is enough for everyone.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Really,
I really love what you're saying about this abundance mindset. So it's not competitive.
How I see it is, I see more people as a whole. So they might not be in their business growth where someone else is. Having said that, they might have other skills that they bring in where somebody with more business growth might learn from.
Right.
So I always see like the person as a whole rather than in a certain area only.
And the potential as well.
Yeah, and we all have potential to grow in other areas, right? So I think it's really about coming together and just being open to what can I learn today.
Right.
You know, like how can I learn from someone else, and trusting that I will meet today the right person who can help me exactly in that area where I feel like I have a challenge.
That's an extremely mature mindset. I don't know if I should
Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know if I can call it mature, but it's very well rounded. I mean, to think about first of all, no competition. This nurturing aspect, and then like really letting people be whoever they are, like no persona. I mean, people they feel like they come in and they don't need to pretend to be someone. And I think that's quite valuable, you know. And for the group itself, it's very beneficial. But can you tell me a little bit, do you have any vision with this group, or are you saying more like, okay, I just see where this is leading me, the journey?
Do I have a vision? I do. I do, and at the same time, I'm very open to what is coming. Right. I think I read this wonderful book, this Surrender Experiment. I really recommend it. I think it's about, yes, I know where I ideally want to bring this group. I don't have a plan, though. I have values.
Yeah,
I think that we share in this group.
Yeah.
But I'm very open to what people bring to me. You know, like which ideas, like if you come to me and you'll be tomorrow like, hey, Tanya, I thought about Souls Connect and wouldn't it be amazing to do that? And I would probably sit with it and be like, why not?
Yes,
you know, like
very organic growth, basically. People bring themselves in as well. So
yes, absolutely. I think, and I would probably bring it up to the group and be like, hey guys, what do you think of that?
Yeah.
Should we give it a go? And then I think I heard recently something that I knew before, but I think at that point in time I integrated it, is that if you want something to grow, to grow in any area, you first have to be okay to not get it right. You know?
That's so interesting, right? Like, a lot of people are being held back by perfectionism.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And me first. You know, like that's how I used to approach things. Like how can I be like the best at something, and then I would get frustrated when I wasn't, and really harsh on myself. And I see especially so many women being so harsh on themselves. Like we are our worst like critics, right?
Yeah.
Oftentimes, I'm not speaking to for everyone, but oftentimes that's what I see.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we always observe that.
And hearing that again, just how important it is to be open to first of all constructive criticism, second feedback, and second of all to just say, okay, I didn't get it right. I didn't get it right the first time, the second time, the third time, but I know this is something that is of value to me.
Yeah.
I know I want to do that. I just have to find a way to figure it out. You know?
Yeah.
So I think, yes, there's a vision, but no, there's no way that is defined.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are more leaning in. So let's say you just know, okay, I want to develop this, but you are not having like a tunnel vision. You are more letting things come a little bit in, and like you're kind of guiding the process a bit, but you're not like shutting it and say, okay, this is where it has to go, and then whatever comes in from left and right, you are like ruling it out, right?
Absolutely. And also, like let's say I had a very clearly defined plan, right? Let's say, and tomorrow my husband comes home and says, hey, in 2 months we are moving.
Right. Okay, that can happen as well, right?
I can't control that.
Yeah.
Like in any case, I need to let go of certain control because it's just outside my control, outside of my control.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, that brings us also to the expat life, right?
Oh yeah.
So in Singapore, a lot of us are expats. We live here, but we grew up in other parts of the world, and we have to adapt culturally to the place. And I don't know how about you, but for me, like being an expat has done a lot to kind of deconstruct the conditioning that I grew up with, like my beliefs, my values, and my education, what people told me I should do. Do you have the same feeling? I mean, you have been living in which places of the world?
So I grew up in Germany. I lived there until I was 18 about. Then moved to Switzerland, studied there in the French-speaking part of Switzerland. And then from there, so I worked there as well for quite some time. So I stayed quite a bit in Switzerland, over 10 years. From there, we moved to London. Then we went to Paris. Then back to Switzerland, to Dubai. And now we're in Singapore. And I absolutely agree with what you're saying. I think... both my husband and I, we have a very open mind about like culture, different cultures, different, traditions, like how people see things. So I think every time we moved somewhere else, it made me wonder, oh, this is interesting. Oh, this is very interesting as well, And rather than rejecting these kind of things, I kind of, it created more and more of a whole puzzle, like it's still not complete. I mean, but it's always evolving, and it's very, it makes you, it makes you shift and see things in a new light, I think.
Right. Has there been any big culture shock or anything that, that you experienced when living abroad that was kind of shifting your values a lot?
There used to be. I think it used to be much more when I was, that makes me seem old, when I was younger. So when I was starting to move like to Paris, for example, as Germans, we are starting work early. We are very much punctual.
Right,
like that's a stereotype.
Big issue, yes.
But it is a stereotype, but it's also it was true. for me. And then coming to a culture where like we start work, like once again, I'm stereotyping, later a little bit, at least in the company where I was working. And time is more flexible. Like if we have a meeting at a certain time, maybe we start a little bit later, or, you know. So that was more challenging for me at the beginning. Or when you moved to Dubai, I still remember. And we had some works to do at home. And people were saying they come between 9 and 5. I was like, 9 and 5, 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. Like,
Wow.
when are you coming? And I think that was a bit challenging for me. But now I'm like, okay, breathe.
Right.
Like, it's okay.
I mean, I can just, confirm this punctual thing is very, very deeply ingrained in German. And I think everyone struggles with that coming abroad. You know, for me, it was,
I don't know everyone,
I lived in Italy, and time had a very different meaning in Italy. And now my rational mind can deal with it, right? When someone comes a bit late, but deep inside, it's still it just shows how deep these things go that you learn from childhood, right?
Absolutely.
When you're like very small, this is so deeply ingrained.
Yes.
So do you think, you still have some of these things inside you, or is there still some programming that you feel that you have to work on, or do you feel like you are totally able to discern things and totally aware of everything that's going on around you?
I definitely not. I think we're always a work in progress,
Yeah.
and also I'm not even sure like where this is going, because I don't know what will happen tomorrow, and something can come up, and we are moving to a completely different country, and I will learn something completely new, and it will again like shift.
So you have been adapting to the flexibility and to all the different cultures, and it's kind of, you can't actually afford in your situation to kind of just go ahead with whatever programming you had, right?
I mean, maybe you can. I think I'm living better with when I'm open and just very curious. I think curiosity
is big.
Is a big point.
Yeah.
I think when you live as an expat, because if you're not curious, then what's the point in living an expat life?
Yeah.
That's my point of view. Somebody might disagree, but I think
absolutely agree. Yeah.
It's so enriching.
Yeah.
Like many, and I think that's coming back to Souls Connect. That's what I love so much about this group, is that people are from completely different cultures, completely different, like they speak different languages, they have different beliefs, they have different religions, they have different, like everything. And everybody is just at peace.
Yep. Yep. There is still, that's why I love Singapore, because it's really a place where you encounter people from so many cultures with different values and beliefs, and every conversation kind of helps you, right, to not reshape your thinking, but to make it more conform.
And challenge.
There's a challenge. And I think that's like super, super helpful to just overcome rigid structures and programs, to speak all the time with different, I don't know. In one day I speak with an Indian friend, with a Chinese friend, with a European friend, like anything. And still we are really able to connect, because, there is this curiosity and openness.
I think exactly that. And I think, okay, now we are really drifting to a different topic. Yeah. But I think if the world had more curiosity, and less fear about differences, it would be a more peaceful place. And I think there's this saying: if you want peace, be peace.
Right. So again, the embodiment. You have to embody it.
Yeah. And if you want people to be open-minded to you, be open-minded. I think there is this: which energy do you bring into a room? If I go into a room and I feel scared because people will be different, it's a different energy than if I go into a room and I feel curious and want to learn about somebody. I don't have to maintain a certain thing, if I'm curious. I'm just open.
Yeah, yeah. So this is one of your secret weapons, like your curiosity that makes you kind of really adapt to, because I do actually know spouses that don't have the joy of being here because it was not their choice to accompany their spouse. And I saw both. I saw people who are kind of, okay, I miss my family back home. I miss my community back home. And then there are those like, okay, new place, new people to meet, new things to get to know. And that makes such a difference. And that also in the experience that you have, right? And that's one of the things that taught me that if you give things a meaning, if you have a change that you can't avoid, and then you might as well lean into it and give it a meaning, right? Like that was for me, even when I was working in corporate, I did not enjoy most of my jobs, but I thought, okay, I'm earning money, so I can study what I want to do. So, and then you give that thing a meaning, totally, and then you can do it. It's like, I think it was Nietzsche who said, to everyone who has a why, there is usually always a how, right?
I so agree with that.
Yeah,
I so agree, because the situation can be the same, but the meaning you give to it can be completely different.
Yeah.
There's this example Marissa Peer sometimes give is a needle. A needle can be a needle to get a tattoo, and you will be very excited because you're choosing that. Or a needle can be the needle that gives you pain relief, and you're choosing it again. Or it can be a needle where you're very afraid of. Because you're afraid of needles and the pain it will give you. Or it can be a needle because you're a drug addict,
Right.
and it can be the only thing you're focusing on.
So
it's the same thing.
Yeah, the needle is
it's the needle, it's the needle, it's the needle. But what you make of it, how you relate to that in that specific moment is very different.
Yeah.
And we all see reality through a lens.
Yes,
definitely. Right? But I just wanted to, if I may, just rewind a little bit, because it sounds like I have figured this all out and I'm so happy as an expert.
It's good to share this wisdom. I mean, these are things that you have, the conclusion that you made with your life experience.
It's a process, but I also want to rewind and say that when we arrived here in Singapore, for example, on the 31st of December 2019.
Very precise.
Very excited. For us, it was like we're starting a new year, a new country, so exciting. 2 months later, COVID.
Yeah.
Everything shut down.
Yeah.
I was still finishing my studies. It was like I wanted to set up my business. We didn't meet anyone. We were in a new country.
Right.
We didn't know anything here. I was crying so often, like the number of times I went for a run crying.
It was a challenging situation for everyone. But if you are new to a place, of course, yeah.
And so I just wanted to say, it's not like I was coming here and I just changed my mind and like my mindset, and I'm approaching it with a positive mindset. No, I had to feel it, and I think also embodying it is also feeling the emotions that have to be felt, that want to be felt. So like, it's not like, okay, I'm feeling sad now. Oh, how can I overcome that? It's like, can I actually sit with this sadness for a moment? Can I actually sit with this anger for a moment? Can I sit with this frustration? What is it actually trying to tell me?
Okay.
I think there's a reason for it to be there. So if I push it down, I see it like this ball that you push underwater.
Yeah.
You can hold it down for a moment, but then it's coming up.
Exactly.
At some point, you can't push it any further because it's taking your energy to put it down. So I think for me, it was like, okay, I think I'm probably a pretty emotional person. Like I feel that, sometimes it's like
that makes you good at your job.
Maybe I don't know, but you like sometimes it's like this thing we say, oh, this woman is emotional, But I think actually, okay, and so I'm feeling the emotions, but then I let them go, and I think I'm still learning to feel certain emotions and to let them move through my body. It's emotion. There's motion in that word, right?
Yeah.
So how can it actually move?
Yeah. I like your way, the way you describe. Okay, you sat with your emotion for a moment, and you kind of let it come in, but then you just reframed it for yourself, right? And so you found a meaning in the situation that you did not enjoy with COVID, right?
Yes.
So you figured out a way of dealing with it. And I believe like whatever it is, however we deal with these kind of situations and emotions, it works, right? It worked for you.
It does. And once again, I think sometimes it's working better and sometimes it's working less. And I think there's this other factor of that maybe you can relate to this factor of uncertainty. When you're living an expat life, you don't know.
Yes,
you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So we might just be moving somewhere else at some point. And what do I do with what I'm building here? So I was kind of having these conflicting beliefs. I'm very passionate about conflicting beliefs. It's like, I want to grow my business, but I don't know what happens if we have to move away, So, and then there were other things coming in, like what happens if people don't like what I'm doing? What happens, like all of these things that were holding me back.
Yeah.
And I think like exploring, once again, being curious about these conflicting beliefs, what's actually going on? Because we have to remember that the only job our mind has is to keep us safe.
Right. Yeah.
Like the only thing is to assure our survival.
Right.
And that's in a literal sense, but also in a figurative sense, like how can we be in the best situation where we will survive? And so it will always keep us safe. So I think that we have to understand when we want to move forward in life.
It's huge. Yeah.
It's huge.
So to give your mind certainty about the situation. You can do that yourself, right? Whatever situation it is, it makes you immediately feel safer, right?
Yeah, and what can you control? Exactly. Like what is out of your control and what is within your control? Within my control is my body, my breathing, like going back to myself, being in the moment. I got a tattoo this year, be here now.
Right.
The only thing we can literally do is be in this moment.
Right.
And make sure we act in a way that we can go to bed this night and be like, okay, like every moment of this day, I've acted in a way that feels good to me.
Right. Okay. Yeah, that sounds totally good. I would like to ask you a question because the podcast is about meaning and purpose.
Yeah.
Talking about purpose, do you believe that every person has a very specific purpose, or is that something that we create?
Good question. I think both. I do think we come into this life with certain challenges and something to bring. I see it like if you're invited to a dinner party and everybody is bringing something to eat. Like you might bring a salad, I might bring a salad, your salad will be different from my salad. Like everybody brings something
salad,
different.
Okay.
It's salad, but it's different.
Yeah, it's different, yeah.
So, and all of that together will make a beautiful buffet.
Oh, and there's again this, like it's not you, it's what you bring to the table.
Or see it as a puzzle. Like, like we can't literally grasp the whole puzzle, but we are puzzle pieces. So the more authentic we are to who we are, the more we bring what we really are supposed to bring to this puzzle, right? So we are different pieces.
Yeah, totally.
And then we will also attract the puzzles that actually fit the other puzzle pieces.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that is my point of view. So I do think we have, and we can feel that, right? Certain things come easily to us.
Yes.
They just flow.
Yes.
Like for me, it's drawing. I don't have to learn it. I don't have to figure out how to make this brush line. It just comes.
Okay.
I haven't even questioned that. It's just coming. And I think we all have certain areas where things flow more easily. So I think that gives some indication on maybe our purpose, if you want to call it purpose. And I think also when something feels less aligned, then let's call it dharma. Like we have this dharma in our life, and and when something feels less aligned, maybe that's a nudge from the universe, like pushing us back or like gently pointing us back into the right direction. And then also, I think the challenges we have overcome that are coming into our life, they are there for a reason. I think that's another purpose, or part of our purpose is to overcome them. And actually, and that's, I think, when you were asking, do we choose that? Do we create that? I think that's then the role we are playing.
Okay.
We can act upon these challenges in different ways.
So if I understand right, so there is a purpose that we are born with somehow, but there is always a little bit of, parts that we choose.
I think, but even you could say, like, let's go back to take the example because it speaks to me, the painting. I can choose not to act on it and not to paint.
Yeah.
And fair enough, for a long time, I have just pushed that aside because I was like, it's not really necessary. It's taking a lot of my time. Why would I do it? I'm not an artist. I'm not selling my paintings. Why would I paint?
Right.
So I can choose not to ignore that.
Exactly, because if time is money, then
For example. So that's the part I'm playing. Same thing with challenges. Like I know that there are certain patterns that come back into my life.
Yeah.
I can choose to run away from them.
Right.
Or I can choose to lean into them and to learn from them.
Right. Actually, that's exactly what I experience. I'm a creativity coach. And then I have a lot of creative people that come to me, or people who want to explore their creativity.
Yeah.
And so what I realize is that if people ignore certain talents or faculties that kind of are inside of them and that want to come out, it actually creates anxiety,
Attention.
and tension. And so I also believe like there are some things that we are meant to develop, and probably the way we do it might differ, but there are certain talents or certain things inside us that kind of want to come out.
And the same, I think, with challenges. I do believe that we come into this life with certain challenges to overcome, but we can choose to act on them. Like, for example, for me, there are certain patterns that come back again
What
and
are
again.
the challenges for? What do you think?
That's very individual for everyone. So something that I find very interesting that I've heard in one of my spiritual courses is that, you could think that someone who is born in a country, for example, that has war,
Right.
it's so hard.
Yeah,
And it is, right?
it is.
And then you could see let's take an expat life, and you would think, what about the easy life? But it's not the full picture. Like each and every one of us is born with, let's call it a backpack of challenges that are very individual to us.
Right.
And we are born into this very specific situation because it's the perfect situation for us to work on these challenges.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about that, because life's biggest question that we are trying to explore are, where do we come from? Why are we here, and where are we going?
Yeah.
So what you say, I sense there is like, okay, we are being born in a certain situation to overcome certain challenges.
Yes. So I think there are these two points. I think we have certain things that come easily to us, that if we ignore them, certain other things.
Why do they come easy to us?
I don't know why. I think it's just like something that is right. But you can if you ignore that and you choose, like, let's say, let's go back to painting because it's an example that speaks to me. I love to paint, but I don't believe, or somebody tells me, but painting makes no money. Okay, then I say to myself, okay, you're right, let's ignore that. And I study business management, but that comes very hard to me.
Yeah, you can feel that.
Yeah, I feel the heaviness.
Yeah.
I feel the, I think how I see it today is like that this feels hard to me to apply certain other principles that don't feel right to me.
Yeah.
It's like a nudge in the direction to go back to what feels easy. and natural. So it's almost like a message from the universe to tell me, hey, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel right. Go back to what feels right.
This is how you actually, this is how you actually feel which direction you should choose, right? That you have this, you can really feel into that.
I think so. I think that's part of it. And the other part is these challenges. Like there's a recurrent pattern for me, for example, like my response would be, I'm running away from them. They feel uncomfortable. What can I do to avoid them and to run away? I can do that.
Yeah,
it's my choice.
Yeah.
But then it will come back in a different setting, different person, but the challenge will be the same. Okay. So for me personally, that's has to do with rejection. That's one of my challenges, one of my key challenges. Like not feeling accepted, feeling rejected, feeling alone.
So there are things that you're leaning into where you say, okay, this feels right, and I want to do that. But then there are also challenges where you feel like you have to face them. So where do we draw the line between leaning in and doing what feels right, but not ignoring the challenges at the same time?
And that is the question I think that we will all have to figure out during this lifetime, is where's the difference? And I think for me, one of the things is, do I want to overcome that to bring me closer to where I want to be? And is it something that is linked to my values? So running away from that would actually make me move away from where I want to go?
Right.
Or is it something that somebody tells me I have to do or should do, and it feels heavy? Okay. So for me, the difference is there. So when I'm leaning into certain challenges, I'm leaning into them because I'm actively choosing to lean into them for growth.
For growth. Okay.
Yeah.
So talking about yourself, what do you believe is your purpose, if you can define it that way?
I think, I don't know if I have one answer to that question. I can only say that it becomes more and more clear to me that I'm about really connection and uplifting certain people that come into my life. I think that's really my purpose, and I'm getting goosebumps, so it feels right. I think it's, I love, it's so funny because I used to run away from people.
Right.
And now I realize I love people.
Oh, okay.
I love seeing them in their full potential, in their full, just for who they are, bringing them together and actually making them grow in this life.
So being part of their growth.
Yeah, connecting them. I think it's really about connection. I think there's a big purpose that I see is coming back to yourself, undoing certain things that we have learned, trusting yourself, and then connecting with other people in a new way, in a different way. In a more peaceful way.
Well, that's beautiful. So, as I understand, you have an inner compass. So you're very clear about your values.
Yeah.
And anything that aligns with your values, there you feel like, okay, this is the right thing to do for me at the moment.
It is not as easy though, because it's sometimes when I'm painting, for example, or doing creative work. I'm still oh God, why do I use that time? So much time. Time just flows so fast, and I should probably do something more productive.
Why?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Why? Because this is so ingrained, and this is, I think, what is valued by society: productivity, like an outcome.
Yeah. I have the same.
What if there is no outcome?
Yeah.
What if the journey is the whole thing?
Exactly. But I'm still feeling bad if I don't turn my time into money. Although, I'm also talking from an abundance mindset, and also so finances are not essential for me, but still, I still have the mindset that I need to make my time worth in terms of money. I mean, even if like rationally, I know, okay, maybe it might not be the case actually, but it's just so inside.
And then my question would be for you to answer, to finish that sentence is, I need to make my time worse because?
That's a good question. Because, yeah, let's sit with it.
Yeah. and because I think like this is one of the questions
The big why question.
yeah, like because, and oftentimes then at the end, if you continue that is because, and at the end is oftentimes because I want to feel loved, because I want to feel enough, because I want to feel included, because I want to feel, it comes back to, and then it's the question, can you do that without all of that?
Wow, that's big. That's big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, thinking about it myself, yes, because you want to feel loved, accepted, fit in
Worth
somehow.
it, right?
Worth it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And what better, right now, money is a symbol of worth and value, right?
And it is.
It is.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's an exchange of energy, right?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not. I'm not against money. I see money as energy, something that enables us to do things.
Exactly.
But we are a little bit too much guided towards making money, I feel.
It's very external.
Yeah.
The thing is, how can we bring the focus more to within? I think we are very focused on the external things. I mean, social media, you will tell me, does not help.
Yeah.
I mean, it can be a beautiful tool, and it can also be very challenging.
Yeah, if you control the tool, not if the tool controls you.
Yeah, but once again, where's the, it's a very fine line, and even like I hope to be able to say that I'm pretty aware of that, and yet I go down the rabbit hole.
Yeah,
with social media.
I mean, you use social media to communicate your values, right, and to build your group.
Yes.
Yeah.
And also, there, like, I'm human, and I see people doing other things, and I'm like, wow, why did I not do that? And
comparison.
Yeah, and it's comparison, and I think it's also okay, to be honest about that, and say like, oh, yes, okay. Like there are moments where I also feel like, oh, I didn't, I didn't do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Why didn't I do that?
Exactly.
And it's okay.
So we all got to learn, right?
Yeah.
We all got to learn.
But then can we shift that again and be like, okay, like it's okay. God, can I learn from that?
Yeah.
And
and it's just healthier for us and for our relationships as well.
Yeah.
Right?
And it's just, I think it's that growth mindset. Like, what can I learn from that? Pause. First, pause. And why is this coming up for me? Because there's always a reason certain things come up for me. If there's like a certain politician that triggers you, then there's a reason for you to be triggered. Like like certain things, they trigger us for a reason. And one of my teachers said, and it comes even back to Mother Teresa, but like when people ask him what to do about the war in this world, is what can you do for your own relationships? What can you do in your life to bring more peace into your own life? And I think that's how I'd like to approach it. Is like, what is the message there for you? How can you contribute?
Right. So it's not every day about saving the world, but just making like a small contribution and taking care of your own environment, because there's always like a ripple effect, right?
Yeah. What can you control?
Yeah, yeah. That's nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for that. There's a lot of beautiful insights. Is there anything you would still like to share with our audience that you think could benefit them?
I just want to say thank you, first of all, for having me, but also even more so for coming up with that. I think it's beautiful. It's so needed. Thank you for listening. I think what I want to say is I'm excited to meet everyone who is listening to that. If you ever feel open, if you're in Singapore, feel open for a chat, a walk, whatever, just reach out, I think. And yeah, it's...
Where can people find you? Like, someone is looking for you.
That's a very good question. I think
you have Instagram.
the easiest is
Yeah,
Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah, I wanted to say come to walk, but the easiest to reach out is probably Instagram. So actually, social media. So it's my happy place. So just DM me on. It's my name, Tani De Gregorio, and just reach out and
Or come to Souls Connect.
or if you're a soulpreneur and feel inspired by our group, our community, want to find out more, you can always reach out as well.
Okay, thank you. There is one last question that I'm going to ask anyone in the podcast. Just imagine you have for 5 or 10 seconds all the world listening to you. Like it's like a huge microphone that everybody's tuning into. It can be anonymous. It doesn't need to be your face, but just a message that you would like for everyone to hear or to know. What would you say?
There's so much to say, but I will say the first thing that comes to my mind, because it's on my vision board for this year, and I see it every day. If you want love, be love. If you want peace, be peace. And I think that's what I wanted to end with. And yeah.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Well, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank
it was
you.
really a pleasure.
Same, likewise.
Yeah. So this was the first episode. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll look forward to the next episodes. Thank you very much.
Thank you.